quick PAC 559 tutorial on how to input information about your Scout into ScoutManage. We're going to be focusing on two things: how you can show and input information about your Scout's rank advancement, like their achievements and the things they've been earning to get their next rank, such as Bear, Wolf, Webelow, and then also how you can put things into ScoutManage when your Scout has earned a belt loop or a pin or other optional achievements. So the first thing you want to do once you're logged into ScoutManage is click on Scout, and it will draw down. If you have more than one Scout in your family, you may have two, three, however many Scouts you have. Otherwise you'll just have one Scout. Let's pick a Scout. Let's pick Jonathan. This will pull up Jonathan's page. There are various things you can do with Jonathan, but we're going to focus on only two things. One has to do with keeping track of Jonathan's rank, what he's been doing to earn his rank. Currently, as you can see, Jonathan is a Wolf Scout. Let's look under rank. Because Jonathan is a Wolf Scout, he's in a bear den, and he is working on his bear rank advancement and his bear electives. Let's take a look at bear rank advancement. This is the key button that you'll be wanting to use in ScoutManage to look at and record anything having to do with achievements and other awards for your Scout. It looks like a little tiny sheet of paper with a pen in front of it. Let's click on that for bear rank advancement and see what it pulls up. Alright, let's scroll down. It shows that Jonathan's been working on different things for his bear rank advancement. For bear rank, ScoutManage notes that he has to complete requirements in each of 4 categories. Whenever you see a little black paw print, that means that Jonathan or your Scout has already earned that particular requirement. So you really don't need to go and earn anything else within that area. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. So let's skip God and skip country because those two have been earned. Let's keep going downwards. And we can skip family because he's already earned that. He's been working pretty hard over the summer and the early fall. But now let's get down to self, and you can see that's white. So under self, Jonathan has to do 4 of the following requirements. Requirement 14, ride right, he completed because the Bensons did their wonderful bicycling den meeting where we completed all of these requirements. Each time a requirement is completed, you just put a little check mark on it and it's done. Let's get to requirement 15, games, games, games. Here Jonathan hasn't done anything. You'll see under requirement 15 he has to do 2 requirements. One is he can choose between these 3. Now each time he does something, all you need to do is check the complete box and it'll automatically put the day's date, but you don't need to worry about the date or anything like that. And the next time you save it, it will mark him as having completed that. So the next time you come into ScoutManage, you'll know what's left to do. Let's uncheck that since he hasn't done that yet. So that's under the requirements. And the nice thing about ScoutManage is once it tracks everything. You don't need to track whether he's finished the 12 requirements that he has to do for bear. By the way, I'm just scrolling back upwards to the top. It just tracks everything and it tells you exactly what you need to do for each requirement to earn it. So that's all you need to do for the ranks. Now the other thing, let's just click cancel since we didn't do anything, but you'll want to click save if you've made any changes. Well, let's just click save to get in the habit of doing that, even though we didn't make any changes. Once you've clicked save, that'll take you back to Jonathan's main page for rank, since that's the tab you're on. The other main tab you'll want to work with is this one called In Progress. Now that's where ScoutManage keeps track of all of the optional things your son might be working on, such as belt loops, pins, religious awards, the BSA Family Award, the Internet Scout Patch, anything that's optional. So let's take a look at what's under In Progress. And you'll see that it's got the awards that have not yet been completed are listed here. Badminton, Internet Scout, these are simply things that Jonathan decided he might want to work on this year, so we added them. Let's take a look for an Internet Scout patch as an example. Again, just go to this thing that looks like a sheet of paper. That's all you really need to focus on. Click on it, and for each one of these awards, it again shows you exactly what you need to do to complete the award. Jonathan has completed some of the requirements, but he hasn't yet completed all of the requirements, so therefore the little paw print is still white, and when you look under Jonathan's overall achievements, it indicates it is still in progress rather than earned. Suppose that your son wants to get a new achievement. Well, let's save this to go back to his main page. And suppose there's something that hasn't been listed here yet. Suppose your son says, you know, Dad, Mom, I want to work on something new that you haven't added yet. Go up here to Add New Achievement, click on it, and you get a list of all the various achievements you can add. What type of achievement do you want to add? I suggest you always put in progress if you're working on an achievement. The only time you would want to bother with completed or completed and received is if you're updating things that already have been done. But in progress is almost always what you'll want to check. Then you have to select the achievement. Don't worry about the date started, that's not important. Select the achievement, and you can filter the criteria if you want to by Scouts and Leaders or Scouts Only. Let's click Scouts Only because it shortens the list a little bit. And if you keep scrolling downwards, the first thing you're presented with is all the various belt loops that your son might want to earn. Because belt loops come before pins. Pins are harder to earn. Then all the various academic pins. Then all the various sport belt loops, which are easier to earn than pins. Then all the various pins. Then there's the Webelow activity badge, which are only for Webelows. Cub Scout awards, and these are optional awards that are not belt loops or pins that your scout can work on if he wants to, like the Cub Scout Religious Emblem, the Outdoor Activity Award, Emergency Preparedness, Leave No Trace. There are a lot of different awards you can look at. And for any one of these, if you're curious as to what the requirements are, you can go over here and click on View, and it will show you what is involved with the award. So let's take a look at, for example, the Leave No Trace Award for Bear. Let's click on View, and it shows you what the requirements are so you can get a sense as to whether you want to do this or not. Then you just click X if you decide you either want it or not, and you're back to the list. So View is kind of a nice little preview essentially. So let's say Jonathan wants to add, I'm scrolling back up again, a sports belt loop that he hasn't earned yet and that's not on his list. Let's take horseback riding. Since we don't own a horse or have access to a horse, we certainly don't have that on his list yet. Let's click Select, and now horseback riding is at the very top of his in-progress achievements. Started November 20th, doesn't really matter though, that's not important. But again, if you click on that little sheet of paper, you'll see that it pulls up all the requirements for horseback riding. So now you know what needs to be done. So that's really all you need to do for ScoutManage. If you keep track of your son's rank and your son's optional achievements, we'll take care of the rest. Once your son has earned them, we'll know that, and we'll be able to go out and buy the belt loops and pins and all the other Cub Scout bling that he can get at the Cub Scout ceremonies, and it's just a wonderful thing for kids to be earning these things. Always contact Andy or Rolf or any of the den leaders if you have any questions as to how to use ScoutManage. Thanks, and have a great time with your scouts.